Back when I was in college, and maybe even still, the night before Thanksgiving was the biggest bar night of the year. If you thought New Year's Eve was filled with partying amateurs, then Thanksgiving Eve was filled with partying amateurs and their cousins from out of town. I'm from Essexville, Michigan, a small suburb of the also tiny Bay City, a municipality so soaked in booze that it hardly noticed when its lovely Saginaw River failed to freeze for more than 30 years. For real though, Bay City was home to the highest per capita figure in the country of bars per capita, at least at one point. Last I knew, there were something like 85 bars in a city with only 35,000 residents. You do the math, if you're sober enough to do so. I only bring up this factoid in an effort to bolster my credentials and to kind of reiterate my authority I possess on partying stories. Look, just because I don't drink now doesn't mean I didn't drink a lot before. In fact, it usually works the opposite. Back in 2005, it was the first year in which I could legally hit the bar on the night before Thanksgiving. And my late grandma and Grandpa Ross, who I miss dearly, were staying at my parents'. We had just finished our Wednesday night dinner as an extended family when I ran upstairs to get ready so I could pick up my friends and get down to the bar. We better get down there. Who knows what we'll miss? I hurriedly washed my face and brushed my teeth. I rushed around my childhood bedroom searching for something to wear. By the time I made it downstairs, I was sweating from all the running around, combined with the pure excitement to link up with my old comrades. So I waited until the very last moment before I threw on my red puffy vest, a staple in my questionable mid-aughts wardrobe. And as I leaned in to hug my grandma, I was trying to figure out how to best tilt my head to avoid her attempt to kiss me on the lips, when at the same time I reached into my pockets. What the? Why are there 2 loose buttermilk biscuits in the pockets of my vest?
Well, I've heard this is a big drinking night, Kirky. You should eat one of these biscuits every couple hours to help soak up the booze.
We all busted out laughing before old Helen Ross swooped in for one more jab.
Oh, and if you get too drunk, you could always just jump in the river and float it out till you're sober. You know, since you're wearing that life preserver.
Well, as it turns out, I might have benefited from the biscuit booze mop method she'd recommended earlier that night, but under no circumstances, joking or otherwise, should you ever suggest a drunk kid to jump into the river and float it out. Especially not the Saginaw River, which by then had enough actual water to freeze again, but barely. So feeling less than confident about my red vest choice, I headed to pick up my buddy Nick, who was at his childhood home just a few hundred yards away from mine, as the crow flies. As was customary at the time, and well, who am I kidding, still today, I queued up the perfect intro song for Nick as I waited in his driveway, eventually landing at Safety Dance by Men Without Hats. I can still feel the anticipation of waiting to see Nick popping out of the front door, shooting finger pistols into the air, blowing them off as he sized up a risky hurdle over the snowbank directly into my vehicle. As he did appear, I pressed play on my iPod, and the music blasted through my passenger side window. Reliable and lovable as ever. You know it. Slick shot finger pistols in the sky and blew them off before adding an unexpected turnaround jumper move. He swished it, and then he hurdled the snowbank gracefully, all the while singing Safety Dance in near perfect pitch. I get it, Nick. I can dance if I want to.
We can dance if we want to.
It wasn't Nick's aura or energy that had me worried on this particular Thanksgiving Eve, not even close. Instead, it was his wardrobe. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, the dude who had his puffy vest made fun of by his 83-year-old grandma was probably just seething at the very thought, searching for anyone downstream upon whom he might cast his fashion shame. But that wasn't it at all. If anything, I should have been elated that an even worse ensemble had joined my crew. Because Nick was decked out in an outfit that indicated he had either, in some clandestine fashion, picked up a full-time job managing a Staples, or that he was on his way to a corporate Christmas party, most likely at Staples. At this point, anything seemed possible. Anything seemed possible outside of this being something that Nick had knowingly and wittingly chosen to wear. Starting at his toes and moving skyward, he wore hiking boots, he wore pleated khakis, he wore a red sweater over a white turtleneck. After we got through the first verse of Safety Dance, but before I'd pulled out of his driveway, I warned Nick, this look might get you some razzing tonight, Slick, don't you think?
Why? What's wrong with this, Marty McFly?
Damn it. He had taken a dig at my puffy vest, too.
Well, what's wrong with it?
Oh, nothing's wrong with it. If you were 10, or if you were managing a Target, but dude, I mean, it's festive, okay? Whether it was his pride or a true allegiance to the getup, I'll never know. But he decided to stick with it. And as we traveled to the next pickup on the route, Nick and I wondered aloud if anyone would razz either of us about our outfits and when. Consensus essentially was that we'd probably get some shit at some point, but hey, it was 2005, and negging one another was how we expressed our love. But not even I could have predicted the precision and efficiency with which we would be dissected that night, because before I could even honk a second time, Cody emerged from around his garage, walking briskly but carefully on his icy driveway. As he opened the rear door, the dome lights came on and illuminated the cabin. We hadn't even said hi yet when Cody, a smartass of particular quick wit, exclaimed,
Hi, Kirk. Cool tech vest. Nick, happy holidays.
What happened after that doesn't really matter. None of us likely remember anyhow. But holy smokes, I sure miss some of my friends. And boy, oh boy, do I miss that puffy vest. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Much love. Peace out.
Trip the fan, trip the fan, what? Trip the fan, 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 whoa. Trip the fan, 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 what? Trip the fan, 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 whoa. Trip the fan, 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 whoa. Trip the fan, 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 whoa.